All right, everybody. I'm sure you saw the headline. So this is not a typical Dylan Gemelli video. I'm bringing you some breaking news. Now, I am a day late on this, but there is not much out there about it. And I kind of wanted to give you the facts that I found and my perspective personally on it, since I do know Connor. But allegedly, and there's a couple articles I have, and I want to first give credit to John Bravo, who broke this story yesterday quite early in the morning. He told me that he heard about it at like 4 a.m. and started making the video at 6 a.m. I don't know how he is that in tune, but that's my boy. And, you know, he kind of gave me the updates on it. So I want to touch more so on what I've dug up since he gave his assessment of this. And there's not a ton out there. There's a little bit of discrepancy on the two news articles that I found. And then there's kind of a funny little title on one here: American YouTuber swings from fame to shame in Thailand. But I want to touch on this one first. And this is from the actual Pattaya news in Thailand. So the headline here is: former fitness influencer Connor Murphy allegedly hits girlfriend near Pattaya with golf club, but says it's for social media content. Now, this is where the discrepancy comes in. This is Pattaya News saying this. Now, the other two sources that I found here, one of these is called Asean Now. I'm assuming that must mean Asian now. It's just a different way that they spell it, but it's ASEAN. So it looks like Asean, but it must be Asian. They're saying that a friend of Murphy's asserted this incident was contrived for his YouTube channel. And also, and these must be kind of similar, the funny title I gave you is from Thaiger, Thiger News. And that one also says that a friend claimed that this was for social media content. So that then brings into question which one of these is accurate. And if it wasn't Connor, what friend was the one that said it was for the content? And they're not disclosing names, so we have no idea what their story was on this, but they're not buying that story, and I'll get into that right now. So here, headline on Pattaya News: former American YouTube fitness idol Connor Murphy, and it's crazy how they call him former, because he's still been doing videos. So I don't know what that, if I'm just looking at that and digging into something that's not there, or if they're indicating something that they're perhaps going to arrest him or who knows what. But it says Connor Murphy reportedly went berserk in the Pattaya area and allegedly struck his Thai girlfriend with a golf club, but later told skeptical Thai police it was for social media content and wasn't a real assault or issue. Now, like I said, that doesn't coordinate with the other articles. So right then and there, it brings into question the credibility of what is even happening here. And it says that around 2:06 p.m., and I believe there I can't off the top of my head, I believe it's about a 12 to 13 hour time difference in Thailand. But it says that in the Huaya police were called to a house in the Garden Village in the Huaya sub-district, and it received reports from neighbors that a foreign man was behaving erratically and injuring a Thai woman. So when they arrived there, they're saying that they discovered Connor was in a state of frenzy, just going crazy, and that he was destroying property and shouting incoherently inside his townhouse. And this was supposedly according to the police. They say that the officers entered the house, and upon entering the house, according to their reports, they discovered blood splattered on the walls and a blood-stained golf club on the floor. And it says Connor had sustained a laceration to his abdomen from broken glass. Then it goes on to say that his 20-year-old Thai girlfriend, and they don't give her first name, all it says is Ms. Kanita, was found with bruises and cuts, and that says from allegedly being hit with a golf club and scratched by broken glass. And it says her 16-year-old sister, whose name was withheld, also sustained minor injuries from glass cuts. Now, it says that the two of them told the police that they managed to escape the house through a window before the police actually arrived. Now it gets a little interesting. Over 10 police officers surrounded the house, and it says Connor locked himself inside the bathroom. And it then goes on to say that friends and officers tried to coax him out, which took nearly an hour. And then he finally calmed down and was finally taken to a local hospital for treatment. It also says that Ms. Kanita told the police that she had been asleep when she heard the sound of breaking glass and objects falling. She then saw Connor acting violently, shouting and bleeding, and then allegedly attacked her with a golf club, forcing her to flee to her sister's room. And she said that she had no idea what triggered the outburst. Then the housekeeper, so they apparently have a housekeeper that's 55 years old, Anjali Swandi, told the police that she had received a Line message. And if you don't know what Line is, it's some sort of app that you can use to communicate with, asking for help. And it said that her boyfriend was going crazy, and that it says Miss Anjali could not intervene safely, so she decided to contact the police along with neighbors nearby that contacted as well. Now, this says here to the police reports that Connor claims that the incident was not an actual assault, but a staged act for YouTube and Instagram content creation. It says the police were extremely skeptical and stated to the Thai media that CCTV footage that they reviewed in and around the villa doesn't support that. But they said that the footage hasn't been released to the press either. So this is an ongoing investigation as of press time, and it says that Connor has not been officially charged with any crime, but the police stressed they were still investigating, reviewing whatever video they had, talking to witnesses, and examining evidence. Then it just goes on to say Connor's a former American fitness influencer, which he is producing videos constantly and on Instagram. It says that he has over 2.4 million subscribers, and his Instagram has over 400,000 followers. But it also says that things took a bizarre turn for him, and he's been involved in controversies related to his behavior and alleged mental health struggles. Connor hasn't made any public statements as far as I know, and as far as press time. Now, they note in here, there's been other incidents in Pattaya. They talk about Leo Rex being found dead in Pattaya under controversial circumstances. And then they also talk about Joe Aesthetics that passed away in that area. These are obviously unrelated. And so they just brought this up into the picture to talk about other, basically trying to make it look like American influencers are having issues over there. And there are certainly a few incidents. And I don't want to get into the whole story with these guys, especially with Leo. And, John's done a pretty comprehensive interview on that and talked about it. That's none of my business and nothing I'm going to get into. All I'm going to say is this. I know Connor. I don't know him like super, super well and haven't known him for many years, but I've had some, I've had him on my podcast and I've talked to him about, different things when it just comes more or less to different types of supplements that we've talked about and compared and contrast, some diet stuff. I've seen him posting pictures golfing, so I know he's into golf. So it certainly makes sense that he would have golf clubs there. And I also know that he does have controversial and somewhat strange videos that he's done. And we talked about that on the podcast, and he talked about how it was, for a character, and he realized it wasn't something he wanted to do. Now, in fairness, they do come across some of them I don't care for or agree with, but I do know that Connor, post speaking with him as I have, is extremely intelligent. And you could see that now in the videos that he's been doing, because he told me when we were on the podcast that he didn't want to do the pranks and the things like that anymore. And so I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know. People are going to have all sorts of different ideas that they're going to throw out there, their theories on what's going on. I've seen so many different things. I don't like to do that. All I like to do is go on what I've read and what the facts are. Everything that I've read on this Pattaya news, and then I compare here with this Asean Now or Asean Now, however you say it, publication, they are all pretty much in step, except, like I said, that one publication is saying that Connor stated that this was for, content on social media, while the other two publications said that a friend said that. Doesn't give the names. We don't know who that is. I'm not going to make any sort of speculation on who it is because I don't know, and I don't like to do stuff like that. That is not my place. I don't want people making assumptions about me on anything I do, so I don't do that type of thing to anybody. I may have 5, 10 years ago, maybe even a couple of years ago, but that's just not who I am at this point. So, I mean, that's going to be in comments, I'm sure, and people are going to say what they think and feel. And hey, that's what comments are for. And I can't control people's thoughts. And all I can do is give you insight on what I know about Connor personally, which is not a ton, but I just know that from speaking to him, the things that I said. This is a wild story, though. And, hopefully this wasn't as bad as it sounds. There's a few pictures that show, Connor having some cuts. I see this picture here of him just sitting there. There's a picture of the girls here. There's nothing that you can really get into. There's one picture of Connor lying down on his back, and it's kind of blurred, but it shows like a long, pretty wide scrape on his ribs. There's a picture of that looks like a 5-iron. And then looks like the backyard, it looks like there's a lot of stuff thrown around out there. There's a couple things on the ground those are like putting green holes and things like that. And like I said, Connor was into golf. He's been posting stuff at the driving range. So it looks pretty messy back there. But like I said, I don't know other than what I'm reporting, but I'll try to keep the updates coming. If I happen to get any sort of information from anybody, I'll certainly keep posting it and keeping people updated. But for right now, Pattaya News and this Asean Now, and then also this Thaiger publication are all that's really out there. And then John Bravo's video as well. And now the Dylan Gemelli video. So I will keep everybody updated if anything changes or if I come across anything else. But just trying to bring you some news updates in our community and keep everybody up on what's going on. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli signing off.